In this week's Commoner video, I'm breaking down the Kassai Sabers second swing deck build. So join me as we talk first swing, the second swing, threatening over the top, and pushing forward for the win. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Flesh and Blood folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando and Go Again, a fabulous cast. Thanks for tuning in once again for this week's Commoner video, talking about one of my favorite heroes, which is Kassai. Now, even in the Commoner format, Kassai is still insanely efficient. She actually plays very similarly to how she plays in the Blitz format, with one exception, of course. Copper generation is completely and utterly irrelevant currently. This does result in a pretty major change to how the opponent approaches blocking Kassai. Since they aren't as worried about Sabers hitting and racking up that copper, they will frequently leave the low-value Saber swings unblocked. What this means is that our deck construction needs to be able to pump out damage on its own without counting on the reprise effects. Yes, we will still run Iron Song Response because its value is through the roof as an arsenal card, but by and large we need to be aggressively pushing damage. Furthermore, being able to occasionally present front pump damage to make the first swing a threat will force cards out of their hand and let the Sabers, that +1, start working for us. Kassai is easily my favorite hero to play in the format, but at times it does feel like she approaches things a little too fairly, and she does have some truly difficult matchups. In the Commoner format, as we mentioned, copper is not relevant, which means that in many cases, the first swing does not necessarily matter. Kassai is very efficient in her resource management, needing only 2 or 3 card hands, as long as one of those is a yellow, does not even need a blue for all matchups. She also comes in with 2 natural battle-worn equipment, but she comes in with 24 health, or more, depending on if she's running the Iron Rot or the Iron Hide. Driving Blade and Blade Runner drive this deck. Front Pump with Go Again and reacts with Go Again on the backswing. In the swing threatens back pump pressure, and we can force them into blocking in that case and turn on Reprise with our Iron Song responses or whatever else we have. We can push forward for closure, threatening Dominate. Her favorable matchups are Guardians, Ninjas, and Dash as well, because most of her stuff is 3 block. Her negative matchups, and this one is a doozy, Icelander is a very, very hard matchup. She also struggles with the multi-damage from the Runeblades running Rosetta Thorn. However, she does okay into Chane because of the fatigueness on Chane. She also struggles very much with Prism and Dromai because she does not have poppers. So going into the deck list for Kassai, we're only running the 2 Cintauri Sabers. That is really all we need. For equipment, we are running Blossom of Spring. This is a great one to run in resource-constrained matchups where we think we might want to go over the top, perhaps by using our Gallantry Gold, which sometimes can be a little hard to pay for. We are, of course, on Gallantry Gold in Iron Hide Plate, Iron Rot Helm, Iron Rot Plate, Null Rune Gloves, Null Rune Hood, Null Rune Robe, and then, of course, the Refraction Bolters. Refraction Bolters are the ones that we're using in every match. You notice those are the only boots. Going into the reds, Blade Runner, no surprise there. We are running a full suite of Blade Runner. I do not think that surprises anybody. Driving Blade Red and Driving Blade Yellow, 2 of those. Running 2 Fates with the D-Reacts in the swing red. Fantastic, fantastic card for her, especially because she is not front pump, or she's not front hit dependent, right? That's what makes her so good. She can keep coming. Iron Song Response red, just a lot of times in this format, it will sit in your arsenal waiting for the time when they have to block. It may sit there, maybe not the most efficient way of the arsenal, but they always have to worry about it. So they have a lot of time taking damage they don't want to be. 2 Out for Bloods. This card is so good with Kassai. No more need to say there. We have Outland Skirmish. Again, it's just a good card, but remember that the copper on that is irrelevant. We have 2 copies of Push Forward. Push Forward is something that I have since added in the last couple of months. I used to play Second Swing. And Push Forward, it's just better because it can help you close out those games, right? You're doing what you need to do. You're getting the Go Again. A lot of times you can be coming in for like 6 or 7 or more with Dominate, threatening that potential Iron Song in Arsenal. What a great card. Then we are playing Sink Below. Now you will notice there is no Oasis Respite in this list. Andrew, you said that you do not do well versus Icelander. Why no Oasis Respite? Honestly, the answer is that the Icelander matchup is so close to unwinnable that I basically just went all in. That's just to be completely blunt with you guys, right? The Blade Runner, obviously on yellow. Driving Blade, we already talked about. Outland Skirmish, yellow. Then we have Raging Onslaught, yellow. This is our only popper. This is a yellow pitch that is a 3-block, right? No sideboard in this. We have to make sure everything's efficient. Yellow with 3-block. That replaced Hit and Run. If you do not want to play poppers, you can play yellow Hit and Run. You need Hit and Run with Blade Runner. We have enough. And then 2 copies of Sharpened Steel, yellow. Now for the blues, we have Blade Flash. This is the only card in the deck, I believe, that blocks for 2, but it's kind of a bailout if you just draw bad. Plus it's a blue. Also, I used to only run 8 blues, but because of the Wizard matchup and now actually the popularity of Runeblades as well, I've gone to 10 blues. I do think that's a little too high for how you want to run her, but that's the way the format is right now. So that's the decision. Blade Runner, 2 of those. Blue Hit and Run, of course, running that. Blue in the Swing. It's a guaranteed back, and then I have Iron Song Response, blue as well. That could be a flex card if you want to run something different. But as far as looking at the blues, they all block 3, except for, of course, Blade Flash, which is the only true weakness in the deck, but it does give us that extra oomph if we need to get out. So that is the deck list. And in terms of playing this, her Constant Pressure is awesome, right? She's really fantastic at just applying it. A lot of times they're going to let that first one through, right? Because if they block it, it goes up, and then they threaten the reprise. Most of the time, they're going to let it through, and that's why your Driving Blades really come through. Yellow Driving Blade is actually, it's not better than Red Driving Blade, but in a lot of cases, like, it kind of does the same thing. Because then they're at 4, then they have to think about making it 5, maybe, depending on what they're blocking with, or they could be a smart block. So, does some really, really cool stuff there. Yellow Driving Blade's pretty good in this deck. I know we wouldn't necessarily run it constructed, but it's a different format now, isn't it? So anyway, that's the deck. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you guys like playing Kassai? Do you agree with me about basically just saying, you know what, I think we're probably almost going to lose the Icelander matchup, so let's just go for it? I don't know. Let me know your case. We could always swap in one of the D-Reacts, one of the red D-Reacts for an Oasis if you really want it. So anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking. Thanks for joining us for Commenter, and go Commando.